Good afternoon, everybody. We have with us our mentor, advisor, Professor Thothatri Raman. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
We are in the middle of the 17th International Accreditation Conference, which is been with the support of Professor Thothatri. So, it has been a day 2 of the conference and lots of deliberations, discussions, and the panel has been finished so far. Sir, what have been your experience on this 17th International Accreditation Workshop?
First of all, I would say that it's very, very good, but usually it is connected. No, you expectations and experience, right? My expectation, whatever it was exceeded, far, far exceeded, I must say. Excellent experience. I also want to elaborate a little bit to say that this is the first time actually we have come out of our comfort zone. In the sense, all the 16 years, I've conducted my conferences, annual conferences, bringing all the top international accreditation agencies of the world, one by one, like number 1 to number 7, have come on to my conference every year. But always it is in Delhi. Either it is India International Center or India Habitat Center. I was a little bit nervous that going out of Delhi and my comfort zone, how is it going to be? Amazing. Excellent experience. Frankly, let me tell you, I wouldn't have got it better than this. I never expected this much of support and comfort level, and the kind of audience that I got this time, and at the same time here also, and on online partners also. Amazing kind of experience. Yes, I think this is a great model. I should get out of my comfort zone and then probably go around the country. You have given me the impetus and the enthusiasm today for me to do this. So thank you for that.
So you've been in many of the conferences, been partnered with many kind of international accreditation agencies like AACSB, ICWIS, AMBA, BZA, and EFMD. What do you think, looking at the standards and the norms, infrastructures, whatever Chitkara Business School has now, does it fit with the good requirement, whatever they look forward?
Definitely. Frankly, let me tell you, the school's infrastructure is the one which strikes anyone first. Okay, that's first. Okay, on that you have scored 100% right now. In the sense, the ambience, the buildings, the atmosphere, everything is perfect. So any international accreditation agency, see, at the end of the day, whatever be the agency, whatever be the condition, please remember it is the people who will be coming to see you. People have got different kind of cultures, they'll be coming to see you. The very purpose of us starting this whole exercise is basically to bring international culture to Indian context. So from that perspective, you are already there. The sense, not just buildings and infrastructure, it's more to do with the fact that your approach to the entire business of education. See, education requires fresh approach. Like, see, if we all agree with this particular point, that every year the batch is changing. So you're not actually addressing the same person
Yes,
at
true,
all.
true.
Okay, the faculty are the same, the faculty colleagues are the same,
True.
and the leadership is the same, but the students are different. So which means when your customer is different every year, you should bring in some freshness to the entire atmosphere.
True,
You can't be going on doing the same thing. So from this perspective also, I find that Chitkara has been very, very good. Outside, I have met all of you. In fact, you have been a regular visitor for our conferences for a long time. And your students also have participated in the case study competition that we conduct. We've been conducting it for the last 7 years. Now this is the 8th year. So yeah, I'm kind of familiar with the question that you're asking. Yes, how do you find this thing? This infrastructure and everything, how do you compare it internationally? Yes, it's a fantastic comparison you can easily make. With comfort level, I can make this. Because in Europe and US, I've been to many campuses of this kind. Yes, there's a little difference here, is that only small difference, I would say, is that the number of students, you might say that 10,000 and 6,000 is great. No, most of the top schools of the world have got 20,000 to 50,000 students. So we are talking about massive numbers. So that massive number is also a result of the branding, the brand recognition, the brand equity, all these kind of things. So you have come to that area for long back. Your brand recognition is very much there, except that the numbers, that's a typical Indian scenario, I would say. Most of the business schools, in fact, are constrained because of certain policy issues, that it doesn't allow you more than 60 students in batches of 60, 120, 180, 220, and so on. So invariably, you will find average business school will not have more than 500 students studying. So if that is the case, and obviously there is a handicap built right there. And so that's not the case with most of the European and American schools going for international accreditation. That much I can tell you. It's not that every school is like that, but those who would want to take up accreditation, which is a very seriously voluntary activity. Once again, in this country, we have still not evolved that process of saying that it should be voluntary. So that voluntariness is something which is not there at this point of time. So even from that perspective, I would say that you are definitely there in the sense getting an international accreditation support or getting the process done faster. You have the intellectual capital, you have the right quantity of students. I mean, not necessarily the quality of students, because quality is again a comparable thing. As you learn, more quality you will get. So it's a process. Okay. In the process, right now, I think you are very much there. So you don't have to worry.
Thank you. Thank you for all your admonitions. So another thing which comes in my mind is last 2 days we were been talking about ESG-led world, which stands for environment, social, governance.
Right.
All our buildings, most of them are green building certified buildings. We are meeting all NBC 2003 norms for the building. Socially, we are very responsible, which you can observe from all our activities. We adopted 12 villages. We are serving to the community. This is why we call it Chitkara community. We never call it stakeholders. We call it, our Vice Chancellor given this keyword that we call it Chitkara community. So what do you think? We are taking environment care, we are taking socially responsible steps. Governance, which we talk about in 2010 when we were being declared as a state private university from Act of 2010 by State of Government of Punjab during its parliament session. We were being given a well-defined governance structure. But what is there which comes that autonomy and the transpiration of everything, what we learned from our Pro-Chancellor, ma'am, whatever we learned from our Honorable Chancellor, sir, our visionary leader, Mohit Chitkara, sir. So you have been there for 2 days. Would you like to comment something which is very, very important into this ESG aspect, which is you believe that Chitkara is doing something which is comparable with other international benchmarked institutions?
Okay, I can answer this in two parts. Okay, the part number one is that what is, ESG, SDGs, and all the other activities we are talking about internationally. Now everybody is really seriously talking about it because the climate change is real, and they recently concluded conference on this COP conference. You can see that
COP29.
People are serious, very, very serious. The reason is very simple, that the problem is real and we are facing it. Okay, this is one thing. And you might also want to know that we, that is SEAA Trust, is also a member of the United Nations Global Compact. Wow. Okay, United Nations Global Compact, we have been a member of that for the last 5 years or so. And obviously, as members, we are obligated to also do some work in this area. And even otherwise, we are very passionate about it. No, that's the first part. And let me connect it to the second part. Unless and until you are aware of what's going on around you, and you are very, very upset about the fact that something is really seriously wrong, and we should go and do something about it. So your Pro-Chancellor, for example, at the conference, she pointed something very, very interesting thing she said. She said that the AQI level from outside to this compound is far less. Okay, that means you have deliberately done some work. So the idea of ESG, SDGs and all that is not just talk about it or understand things about it, but do something about it. So even before this SDG, all this debate that started, you already started doing something. Now this is exactly what you said, for example, every building is green and so on. So this is the concept that we have to really talk about. that when you're already doing something, obviously this aspect of SDGs and ESG and everything else is built into the system. So your 12 villages, for example, you said. So all we have to really do is that you have already started doing a lot of things. Now you learn from the world. Now, where is international accreditation is going to connect? I mean, you should ask this question to me, and I would have been really happy. What has international accreditation got to do with climate? If you had asked me that question, then I will give you the answer. I myself am asking the question, I'll give you an answer. The answer is very simple. When the world is really, breaking down like this, who is going to change it? Now, your visionary leaders made sure that you have a campus and you have the kind of students that you are attracting who are conscious of what is going on in the climate, right? Now, tomorrow, the students who are going out of your institution should be sensitized how serious the situation outside is. Then you are really going to get kind of support system for the globe itself. So you will be supplying students to the world who are completely aware of the fact that this is what the world is today, and not just saying that, oh my God, the world is like this. No. Can I do something about it? This is the question that the persons internationally are asking, who all the international leaders who come for the COP conference, they raise this question to each other, saying that can we do something? Can we collaborate? Can we do something? So that can I do something is the reason why we are even sitting and talking here. This conference is part of that can I do something, answer to that question. So you keep on asking this question. You ask your students to make these questions. And once the students are asking this question, and I'm very sure that you'll be contributing to the global debate on this international debate today going on climate. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you for all your admirations once again. Another point which comes into our mind, looking at all deliberations and other things, this international accreditation agencies, they are more into the impact, which comes into the academic impact and the social impact. Social impact we already covered in a previous questions, and you beautifully responded that part. My another thought which comes into the pictures, what you think as a chairman, SEAA Trust, being organizing all such conferences, being collaborated with AACSB, EQS, EFMD, AMBA, BGA. What are the major challenges which most of the institutions, specifically B schools, faces during this accreditation process, which you believe that we as a Chitkara Business School have taken care, should be more conscious about all such things, specifically when we are ready with excellence of learning, we are ready with scholarship of impact, where the H-index of our university has gone 100 plus, and the business school H-index is close to 50. So that all aspects, all our publications, they are mapped with sustainable development goals, which is already available into the Scopus database. But still, we require some of your advice, which you believe that is a major challenge which most of the Indian B schools have during the processes, which we must take care before we start our journey in the next level of SAR or the ISA.
I understand what you're asking. In fact, much of the answer to your question lies in your own question itself. Frankly, let me tell you.
Okay.
See, what you were trying to explain was that we have these things in terms of saying faculty awareness, faculty readiness, institutional readiness, and the connectivity in terms of the subjects that you're teaching. How does it work with the way of life when the international accreditation are walking in and asking these questions? Okay, let me answer this, the second part to that same thing. You had already answered most of it. Okay, let me answer you on this. What does the accreditation agencies expect to do when they come here?
I believe the impact, which I believe, I have a logo, which I remember all the times in my mind, AACSB tagline, that innovation, engagement, impact. Okay. So what we believe, we at Chitkara Business School are most familiar, and we are following all those aspects, whatever AACSB requires. But still, since we cannot meet the experience, whatever you have a vast experience, well-traveled across the globe. So, what we sort of inquire from you that looking at business schools into the American regions, business school into the Europe regions, and most of the business schools which we look forward. We were been into Kuala Lumpur a month back.
Right.
And
ASA is big on this,
yes, and there was many B schools from Southeast Asia as well. They were performing well. Everybody has their own case study. We do have a different case studies, and that was being praised by most of the business leaders who were the part. Dean Council also, they praised a lot for that Chitkara Mandi, which we talk about. Probably you are
Right,
also
that's right.
aware
Yeah,
in most of your visits we explained that part. But still, what are the facts which you believe that these are the key points which I believe that is something regulations to be read. That kind of experience, if you can share in 2-3 lines, which is a key takeaway for us.
I can tell you something very interesting experience that I had myself. I was taking a walk yesterday, okay, and this was around probably 8 o'clock or something, and I found first of all there is not over big noise. There is no big noise. There is big crowd, but not big noise. This happens in a disciplined environment where this discipline is self-disciplined. So this is something that you have fostered. I don't know whether you realize that or not. The students are not shouting, screaming, and enjoying themselves because they finished their classes and they're here. They're very responsible. Yes, they were enjoying themselves. That I can see, but they're very responsible. I can see that. That's first thing. So normally when we visit campuses, and I myself address more than 500,000 students, okay, across the country and across the world, then this much I can tell you is that when I look at the cohort strength, I mean, whoever, the 50, 100, 2,000 students in front of me, what I look for is smiles. How much of smile do I get to see? I see a lot. That itself shows that this mental strength is very much there, except possibly because of cultural differences in terms of the background from where they come and all that. They need a lot of exposure. So the exposure can come from, say, films, for example. You should have an open theater where there should be films of a regular films, whether they like it or not. They will eventually enjoy and pick from there. So this kind of small activities would really help. Literary club, Nukkat Natak, this kind of stuff. Encourage them to do that, and that will be really fun. Then fun and learn. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, I don't really seriously find there is any great difference between a good, high-quality college anywhere in the world and the kind of students that are here. Last important thing, the students of today are amazingly aware, thanks to the mobile. And we criticize mobile use and all that, but I am one of those guys who really encourage the idea that we should use a mobile, except that as faculty, like one of our speakers, in fact, yesterday demonstrated to you that the usage of mobile is very high. But if you use it for training purposes, very indirectly, don't do it directly, it will really result in high quality students.
True.
So it's for the faculty to think of how can I use this material that is available, this opportunity that is available. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for observing the students' activities which is happening in the evening. I would love if you can tell us something about what do you rate, how you see the mental health and well-being of our students who are available inside the campus during, even in the conference, there were lots of participants. They were desirous to be the part of, and 25th you are having student competitions which is going to happen in our campus. So how do you rate the students' mental health and well-being of this university?
Pretty good. In fact, this region is known for its strength and the valor and various things, right? In Punjab means the minute Punjab is mentioned, immediately we say, oh, that very tough-looking guys, that sort of thing. Yeah, but interestingly here, I didn't find that kind of a tough-looking guys around. Okay, that's something very nice. And mental strength-wise, I find that definitely these guys are quite capable of, except that you need to give them more opportunity to expend their mind, send them out on competitions elsewhere in the world, and then you see what happens to what they do it. And most of these competitions can also come to you online. So probably you should have a competition commission of sorts. I don't know.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that.
So that will help. Yeah.
Another thought came into our mind is that faculty, we were talking about the participations into the conference. And parallelly, some of the faculty members, they were having query with you, how they can contribute into the accreditations process. And they are very academically strong since they are aware with the AACSB process, they are aware with the EQUIS process, they know their duties, how to contribute into the impact and the outcome which we measure in terms of implementing outcome-based educations. We implement with exit survey, what we do for our students who are moving out. Parallelly, not only the graduating students, what we do interview at the exit survey, which graduating batch were been with the internship with the employer. So we get survey from employer, we get survey from the graduating students. Parallelly, the teachers who are as an instructor, as a teacher available inside the classroom, we do survey with them also. So that all set of informations, it is available. However, you were being part of the conference, you had interacted with our faculty members. What do you think that whether they are on right track or some sort of things which is still to be imbibe as a practice of academic vision to the faculty members?
Okay, I can answer you this way. The culture also matters. Wherever you go, the culture matters. In India, very interesting culture we have. We have very high respect for our faculty, okay, and vice versa. Okay, the faculty are very, very fond of students, and they want to go out of the way to help them. That's fine. But where we have a problem, in a way, I would say that when compared to the international cultures that you get, that people generally don't open their mouth.
Yes.
And ask questions in public. Privately, you ask that guy, he will ask you, he will know a lot of 100 things more than I or you, and then he will ask you questions also. But if you ask them to come to public and ask a question, very difficult. In fact, many of us who have been conducting conferences can tell you this. Now, how do you break this? One of the best ways to break is that you are going for international accreditation. And in international accreditation, one of the things that will happen is that whether you like it or not, you have to communicate with
Yes.
people. You have to go to different cultures. You have to participate in those conferences, committees, and seminars, and workshops, and everything else. And how do you encourage that in a different other way? One of the other ways of doing it is that encourage people to conduct what I call as department conferences, department workshops, department colloquiums, which you can do it. In the sense, each encourage the department, you have collaborators, you have more than 200 collaborators. That's a hell of a lot of numbers to choose from.
Yes.
So ensure that there's a calendar for each department, and say that on every Friday, one department or the other will conduct a international level workshop of only the faculty coming from there, expose the students to that workshop. Just for about 2 hours. I'm not even talking about a half a day conference or something like that. 2 hours, that's all that you have to do. And the data from that would be also useful for your international accreditation. So this is something that you can easily experiment because of the fact that you have collaborators. So it definitely will work. The last thing that I want to tell you on this aspect is that if you see my own logo, my punchline is actually called self-regulation with accreditation.
Yes.
So what's the connection? The connection is very simple. If you go for accreditation, you will regulate yourself individually and institutionally. Both has to happen. So accreditation is supposed to support that. So I will connect it to my organization name itself, which is basically Standards for Educational Advancement and Accreditation, which means you advance education with standards. Those standards you evolve it yourself, or best thing is pick up from the accreditation agencies. So standards for educational advancement with accreditation. So you go for accreditation, you will automatically get your standards, and that will help to advance education. So that's the connection. Then in the whole process, you will be self-regulating yourself.
Yes.
You don't need an external
Yes.
regulator to
Yes.
come and tell you that, do this, do that, do that. Instead of that, you yourself will say that, okay, I will do this, I will do that, I will choose to do this. And then finally, the answer to your question about faculty, every faculty will start talking.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. Their involvement will be very high, and the student involvement will automatically be high.
True.
So collectively, you will be able to do a lot of work. So that's our expectation from this whole exercise.
We discussed a lot Now, the last part of the interview, I would like to ask you, how do you rate this 17th International Accreditation Workshop being held in Chitkara University? And I would like to know from you, for our audience, that the next conference, which is the 18th edition of International Accreditation Workshop, what is your vision about that?
Again, we go back to this whole thing about nervous, my expectation and what happened.
Yes.
Now, I was a bit nervous because we had collected close to 38 speakers. Now, 38 speakers in about 18 hours, that
Yes,
is
yes.
really long. Normally, any conference should not be more than 5 hours, but our conferences are 9 hours. So 18 hours, within 18 hours, we are talking about 38 speakers, and most of them from around the world. I was a bit nervous, frankly, let me tell you. I mean, I must admit that. But then, so far, I can see that the flow is really, really very good. Very good cooperation from around the world, from the speaker's point of view. And from the reception that we are receiving here, we find this is really fascinating. And if you ask me what will be the next year, we have already started this concept of building an ecosystem, education ecosystem. So next conference will be mostly on specific to this education ecosystem. How do you foster this for, again, social impact? I'm going to stick to social impact seriously. So how do you foster this ecosystem? So again, let me end this with a little bit of a comment on what I observed here. The cooperation and collaboration should go hand in hand. When you go for international accreditation, you get international collaborators. When you go for Indian accreditation, you should also get Indian collaborators. Now, the Indian collaboration concept is still not there. Probably the best way to do it is that you can encourage it yourself. Like, for example, conduct a conference on building an education ecosystem in this region so that Punjab, Haryana, Himachal-based institutions all come together, heads of these institutions come together, the faculty of these institutions come together, conduct some workshops, conduct some seminars, conduct some departmental papers and things like that together. If you can do that, probably we would possibly have an idea of sorts where all of us will be aggregating our own minds and making sure that something good outcome will come. So this is what possibly next year's concept is going to be.
Thank you. Thank you for everything, providing the opportunity to we as a Chitkara Business School, as a Chitkara University. Whatever best we could do, we tried our best. And we look forward for more collaborations in future as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity.